Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. You saw by the title, today I finally go to the Nether with my friend because he decided to come back to the world or something. I don't know what he was doing. But like I called him and then the call actually worked and it called him or something. I don't know. Because before it didn't ring, but today it ringed and he picked up and he said he could play. So we're going to the Nether today. And that's kind of it. We hit 76 subscribers. So yay! But anyways, let's get into the video. So as you can see, I did some grinding while I was gone, or not gone, I guess. Wait, I did some grinding after my last video because I was bored and my friend was taking forever to get back on. So I grinded maxed out tools and almost maxed out armor because you can't get certain enchantments from villagers, unfortunately. But yeah, I also grinded out max enchantment armor for my friend because he was taking too long to get on, so I just maxed out diamond armor for him. I forgot about the tools for some reason, but it doesn't really matter. But I also grinded out a power 5 bow with infinity and stuff, and honestly, I'm just kind of at a good point in my world now, and I feel like it's a good idea to go to the end. And we do almost die a few times. The end, or not the end, the Nether is really hard. Yeah, I already knew that, but I did not expect it to be that hard. But anyways, I'm just waiting for my friend to travel back, and eventually I go after him. So eventually we made it back to base, and I'm just kind of. And so the last time my friend was online was after the ancient city. He was running back to our base to put all of his stuff in the chest. And so my friend is somehow still behind me, although he only has Riptide 1. And then he sees the raid farm, and he says, "What is that big tree in the sky?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell you about that later." Because I just want to show him everything I've done while he was gone. So I gave him an enchanted book he dropped while we were running. I don't know how he dropped. Or no, yeah, he died, and then he ran back, got all of his stuff. And then he forgot the enchanted book. I grabbed it. It wasn't really an important one, but the more loot, the better. So I'm just showing him everything I've grinded out, like the ore chest, my tools, my armor, and then his armor and stuff. And then I also show him the raid farm and eventually all this stuff. So I'll cut to that now. So eventually I tell him to take his armor off. He doesn't know why, but for some reason he does it anyways. I don't know. But I also realized he has 2 prop 4 diamond leggings just out of nowhere on him. And I'm like, where did he get these? Like, apparently he got them from the ancient city. He got 2. Yeah, that 2. Like, that's just insane. But then I show him this chest, and then I show him his armor and stuff. So eventually he gets his armor on. He puts the trims on to how he likes them, and he uses lapis, which kind of caught me off guard. But it's his preference. So I mean, it doesn't look that bad. And then we also start listening to CDs because I made a jukebox because, like, why not? And we also got a lot of CDs from the ancient city. So we're just listening through them, talking about which ones we like and don't really like. And then eventually I show him the map room, which is actually something new I did after I made the raid farm, which you guys don't know about. So you guys will see the map room. As, like, suggested by the name, you could probably tell, it's just a map room. There's just maps of stuff. So it's just basically a map of our entire base and all of the areas surrounding it in like a big radius. And then I'll just update it every time we add something new. So it's just like we can just see everything we've done in a nice area. And I personally like it a lot, and I think it's really cool. Eventually, we finish, and he finishes sorting his inventory and everything. So I run over to show him everything that I've done. So first I show him the Nether portal, just like the little house with, like all the stuff inside of it. And he says and then he kind of laughs and says it's a 3x3. And I'm like, yeah, I messed it up, but it still works. Which is honestly, I did not want to redo all of this, and I don't have Silk Touch or a Silk Touch pick. I mean, we have a Silk Touch villager, but we don't have a Silk Touch pick. So I did not want to have to make, or I guess we already had the glass, but I just didn't want to do it again, because it would also have meant that I had to get more of stone bricks. But anyways, after killing that Enderman and getting nothing, I'm pretty sure, Oh, I was not paying attention. We go to the map room and I show him the map. So as you can see, I think this is really cool. I plan on making it the entire size of this place because it's anyways already pretty big. And then I show him the lighting system I made where if you flick the lever, the lights turn on, which I like. But as you can see, there's our base and then like the mob farm and stuff. So then after that, I tell him to follow me because I don't. Apparently, he hasn't seen the iron farm. Like he got off before I made the iron farm, and yes, I did actually make the iron farm after the ancient city. I just posted the ancient city after the iron farm for whatever reason. And so I go to show him the iron farm, and then we go to the large tree, as my friend would call it. Eventually, we get to the iron farm, and I show it to him, and then I just explain how it works, like all of the or how the iron golem spawn works, and then about the villagers, and then I show him all the villagers, and he's really surprised that I crammed 20 of them into there. So eventually, I start to dig down, and I get to the villagers, and I just show him. Of course, you can't see all of them there because there's just too many, and I don't want to dig a bigger space. So then we start to go back up, and then I show him the raid farm. So eventually we get to the raid farm, and I want to show him the chests in order, so that and yes, I did do a lot of off-camera grinding after my last video, so we have a ton of totems. And I just wanted to show him the chests in order so that he could see them, which doesn't go well. He just looks through the chests and ignores the order. I mean, well, first I tell him to look through these chests, which he goes in order, and then I show him the chest over there, which he does go half in order, and then he just looks through the rest. So I guess this is a good time to show you guys everything that I've gotten from the raids. So of course I have gotten the enchantment books. I got like spider eyes, string, stuff like that, and gunpowder, and also glowstone, which I'm pretty sure is just all from the witch. Also arrows, but that makes sense. And I guess I got sugar as well, which I think is also from the witch. Then I show him the redstone, and then the emeralds. Of course, that's a lot of emeralds. And then yes, I did go to a shoot, what is it called? A pillar. I went to a pillager outpost, and I just grinded out ominous bottles. As you can see, I went on the grind. And then I have 3 mending tridents, which I grinded out just in case the trident up there glitches. And then he takes one without realizing, so then I tell him. But then he looks into the totem chest. Yes, I have a full double chest. And then I just start to crit him out for looking in the wrong order that I didn't tell him to look in, because he just went straight to the next one. And then I also tell him that he took one of the tridents, which he says, oh. And then he puts it back. So I have a full double chest and 1 full row of a double chest of totems. So basically we just grab totems, we do some raids so that he can get XP to put max riptide on his trident, and then we go to the nether. So finally, once we're ready, we decide to do the one thing that you guys clicked on the video to see, and that is go to the nether. And so I asked my friend if he wants to light it, which he says sure, because, you know, I've already lit the portal a few times, and I've even, you know, I never went to the nether. I just lit the portal, that's it, yeah. You guys don't remember anything from last video. I just lit the portal. I do tell him about me going to the nether, of course, though. But, he lights the portal, and so I asked him if we could, like, line up in a way to get, like, a screenshot so that I can make get a good, what is it called? You know, like the picture that people have on their videos before you click on them, whatever that's called, I forgot. But I wanted to do that, so I get him to line up, and then I take a picture with my phone because I can't find my Minecraft screenshots for some reason, like they just don't exist apparently. Even in the right folder, they just don't go there. So I use my phone because that's like the best way. And if you do want to know, I do use the AI thing for that. So that's why sometimes it just looks weird and doesn't go with the video. Like my last video. That did not go with the video, which is why I think a lot more people didn't click on the video. But it still got 100 views. So that's good in my opinion. But this video should have a really good, or just have a good picture on top. Anyways, after a bit, I finally get the picture and we go to the nether. So now that I've gotten the picture, I back up and my friend also backs up, and we're finally in the nether. after way too long. And it did load really fast, but that's because I went before and already loaded the chunk, so it didn't need to load anything. But now that we've done that, we decide to go looking for a fortress and a bastion to loot up. And eventually we find absolutely nothing. We even go in a circle somehow. So I just end up pulling up chunk base, and we go to the most disappointing, the absolute most disappointing treasure bastion to ever exist. Like, that thing was disappointing. It was just so annoying, bro. And then we also found another bastion, which was I'm pretty sure a Hoglin Stables or something. It wasn't as bad, but it wasn't better. I think I only found I found one. Actually, no, wait. Yeah, I found like 4 chests in there, and I only found 5 chests in the treasure one, which is not that many for a treasure, I feel like. And you know the middle that's supposed to be stacked? There was literally one chest. Not even a double chest or 2 double chests. Just one singular chest. Like, what is that? Ah! Okay, anyways. I also get like 30-something or 40-something blocks of gold, which is really nice. We also trade for enough ender pearls, and we go to a fortress to get the blaze rods for blaze powder. And then I make 16 eyes of ender for when we decide to go to the end, which will be soon, my friends, once we get maxed netherite gear. And yes, I do find an upgrader, thankfully, in the treasure bastion, which I feel like is probably a 100% chance. And if it's not, then there's something wrong, because it took way too long to get to that treasure bastion. But I do upgrade my chest plate and my pickaxe to netherite, and in the future now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I have full netherite armor, a netherite pickaxe, and a netherite axe. So now all that's left is my sword and maybe a shovel if I ever want to do that for whatever reason. But there's also my friend who does not have a single piece of netherite in the future, like at all. And I'm just getting pieced up right now, so I'm running away. But I'll cut to when we actually get to the interesting part of us looting the structures. So at this point, I used chunk base to find a fortress, and apparently there's this fortress that we're at, and then the Hoglin Stables and the Treasure Bastion right next to each other, pretty much. And so the fortress and the bastions were really close together, while the 2 bastions were like pretty much combined around there. So now we're just entering the fortress to go loot up and get a ton of blaze rods. And I also get a wither skeleton skull from my first skeleton, I'm pretty sure. And I do take a lot of damage already, so I just build up. And I'm telling you right now, this wither skeleton is so relentless, bro. How did he find a way to climb up the cliff? And I don't know why, but I always forget that I have a bow. So eventually I kill him, and then, yeah. And then I run away. Oh wait, I guess it's not the first one. I think one of the ones I do get a wither skeleton skull. And I guess after the ender dragon, we'll fight the wither and make a beacon, because that's probably something fun to do. But eventually I do get enough blaze. Yeah, I guess we do get enough blaze rods, and I have like 27 in my inventory. Thankfully, I have looting 3 though, so I get a ton of blaze rods. Like, I'm pretty sure I kill 2 blazes right now and get 3. Yeah, these 2, and I get 3 blaze rods each. See, 3, and then yeah, see, like. That's just insane. It would have taken so many more blazes if I didn't have looting. And it would have also taken a lot longer to probably get blaze rods in the first place. So we just loot up. And we also grind ender pearls from this forest before we go to the bastion. After some time, we do finish looting up the fortress, and we get a ton of ender pearls. And we decide to just go back to base now to clean our inventory so that we can get all the loot we can from the bastions. Which, while was kind of enough to fill our inventories, was just disappointing. And eventually I do just decide to get ancient debris by bed mining and strip mining with my new netherite pickaxe. When I do get it, that is. Which would be after this video because I don't record that. So we also, I do get sidetracked and we decide to make a cage for our happy gas that we got from trading with the piglins. Eventually, I do finish making the cage out of netherrack, and then I also realized that uh I was pretty sure that happy gas, when you finish, like, they finish growing from their dried gas state, that they become one block, which they do, if you wanted to know, and that bro, I'm stuttering so hard right now. And that does cause some problems in the future. But for now, that isn't a big problem, and it isn't really a big problem anyways, and eventually we do grow the happy gas by getting snowballs. We upgrade the cage to make it into a stables where we can put our, like, horses and stuff to ride. And so once we finish this, we go back to the nether and we start looting again. So at this point, I'm just digging towards the bastions. And I actually run into Hoglin Stable once first, which I don't realize, and then I realize it after a second. But of course, I only find one chest after exploring the whole thing, and yeah, I was just super annoyed, cause why is there one chest? And it was horrible. There was quite literally nothing in it. And also, I just want to show you something right now. That's the only reason why I'm not in the bastion while I'm saying this. My luck is absolutely insane. Just watch, just watch. I'm just randomly going to the correct spot, or the correct Z coordinate to dig to the X, and then I find ancient debris. Not just one, not two, not three, but 4 pieces of ancient debris, which is kind of crazy. I'm just digging around to see if there's any more, and then I find 2 more, and as you can see, I'm just shaking my screen. I'm just going crazy right now, because I just can't believe it. And I'm telling my friend, and he's like, "You're so lucky, what, 4?" And then I have to explain to him that, and he says that 1 ancient debris spawns per chunk, and I'm like, what? That's not how that works. It's like, they spawn in veins per chunk, and it's like, the max, I'm pretty sure, is like 2 or 3, which, as you can see here. So I guess that was like, the corner or the edge of 2 different chunks, because you could see the ancient debris kind of spawned in, like, a weird way. But that's 4 ancient debris, which is 1, oh shoot, that's 1 netherite ingot, which is kind of insane. But as you can see here, I found the bastion, and I find for the 1 chest in this bastion pretty fast. Eventually, I do come back here to try and loot it again, but I just don't find anything else. And I'll just show you what I get from the chest. So at this point, I'm just digging through the bastion, and then I find the chest, and as you can see, holy buns, this chest is horrible. There's nothing good in it, and this is the only chest that I could find in the entire bastion. And I just run around, I fall a lot into, like, random holes and stuff in the sides, and there's just no other chest. And then I also end up going in a circle 3 times. 3 times! Like, this bastion was completely useless, and eventually my friend digs over to me, and then after a bit we dig over to the treasure one. And I'm also wondering if this is a treasure one, but then I realized that I'm in the Hoglin Stables one, because as you can see, I was actually checking chunk base when I exited Minecraft. But I'll just cut to the treasure one, and I'll show you what I get in those chests. So now we're at the treasure bastion, and so I realize I have my bow, which I kind of just forgot throughout my entire playthrough until now. So I just start to bow all of them off, and it does aggro all of them onto us, and they do come after us. And I always thought that they deal like 3 hearts of damage even to max prot 4 diamond armor, or like 4 hearts of damage, but apparently they only do half a heart. So with netherite, that's probably kind of puny. And then I actually do get knocked off, but I managed to get onto a block in time, and I blocked myself in so that I don't die. And the amount of times we almost died in this bastion just for like minimal loot was so annoying. I did actually find a god apple in the center chest, but my friend had to eat it so that he didn't die, because I did not want him to die, and like most of his loot get burnt in the lava. So thankfully he didn't die, but -1 god apple. Not really what I care about though, because we have like 14 at our base now. Once my friend brought back 4, and then I realized this guy was behind me, and if he had decided to reach and hit me, he probably could have hit me in. So now I'm just thinking about a way to get to the center and get to the moolah, which obviously disappoints me. So I get to the center chest, and there's a god apple, another ingot, another upgrader, and there's also a diamond chest plate, but I don't really care about that. And I think my friend takes the diamond chest plate. So netherite upgraders, as long as you have one, you can just like infinitely duplicate it. And then I accidentally knock my friend into the lava, and that's the only reason why I need to give him the god apple, because he's gonna die. And I tell him to jump over here and run over here because I have a god apple, and I tell him to eat it. And his inventory is actually full from 12 stacks of netherrack. Why do you have so much netherrack? Like, what? But yeah, so he eats the god apple to survive, and the only reason he actually had to eat it was, as you saw, I hit him into the lava because I'm an idiot. So -1 god apple. And so eventually I go back for all the blocks, and I protect my friend because I think he's gonna do a ton of damage. But eventually my friend says they only do half a heart, and I'm like, what? And so I find out about that. Eventually we find another chest, and from now on I'm just gonna show all the chests that we find in the loot in them. And I mean, the loot in this chest isn't that good, but I guess another block of gold is not always nice. And eventually, I do actually go back to the Hoglin Stables, and I'm just now remembering I do find a double chest there, which actually has, or not a, yeah, I do find a double chest there, which doesn't have the best loot, but I also find just a random 3x3 9 blocks of gold just sitting there in the stables. So I'm like, oh yeah, bro, that's actually cool. And so now I'm just building up to look for more loot, and eventually I find a bridge which has blocks of gold on it, and then also leads to another area, or what I would call the outside part of the bastion, which just gives us more loot in general. And then I almost fell here trying to like jump onto that block and build up, and I almost fall, but then I block clutch, thankfully. Kinda, I think I block clutch. I don't know. I don't know how to classify what I just did. I guess the best way to classify it is I didn't die, which makes me cool. Oh yeah. But yeah, so I finally get to the outside part, and I take the blocks of gold. Eventually, I do get to where the chest area in the first building is, and I just get absolutely ganged up on brutes. And there's 2 chests here, which is nice. Just a lot of golden carrots, which, I mean, wasn't bad. More obsidian and gold. And then there's this double chest in the other side, on the other side. So just more, and then this one just has more golden carrots. That's all I really take. My friend comes along, and I think he takes the bone blocks, but I don't know. After a bit, I finally get to the double chest, and I just get ganged up on. They keep coming out of nowhere, and as you can see, I started to get really low. Like, one of them just appeared in the stairs, and as you can see, another netherite upgrader. Diamond pick with an unbreaking 1, which my friend takes for his diamond pick, because all it has is mending. So unbreaking 1 is kind of good for him, because it's already in the red. So then I take, or I think, yeah, he takes the music disc, I take the iron, and then just more food, and that's it. So after that, that's all this bastion had to offer. Absolutely nothing else. And actually, I'm gonna keep this going because in a second, I'm an absolute idiot and I fall off and I almost die. Just watch. Yep, and I almost died. I don't know what I was trying to do with my bowl, but then I kind of clutched with my crafting table and falling on the edge. If I had fallen farther, I would have died. And then my friend, while I'm telling him, is looking down and he forgets to crouch, so he also falls down. But then he manages to land on the very edge of the block somehow. And apparently he said he was spamming W, A, and D all at the same time, which I guess is just a habit he has, because he seems to do that a lot when he falls, like off the ledges almost to his death. But thankfully, we both clutched by moving to the correct side to land on the blocks, and we don't die. And then there's no more loot, so then I go to back to the other bastion, which then I find more loot in, and then we just go back to base. So we finally made it back to base, and I'm just waiting for all the ancient debris to smelt, and I'm just regathering my inventory to clean it up and make it better. And eventually it all smelts, so then I make another netherite ingot. So now we have 2, which of course I use to upgrade And as you can see, I also duplicated the netherite upgraders. So now I decide that I just give him my totems just so he can have it, and then we just sort some more, and then I get another right chestplate and pickaxe. Yeah. I finally decide it's time to put the netherite on. So I put it on my chest plate, and look at that beauty. So good. Also, if you're wondering, like, my chest plate, if you say it doesn't look good, I kind of agree with you, because it was actually a mistake. I did not mean to put that trim with redstone on to make it red like that. I mean, I kind of like it now, but, I mean, I didn't mean to do that. So now we sleep through the night, and then I put it on my pickaxe. So now I have the best pickaxe in the game, which is kind of cool. And it really helps for what we're going to do next, because we actually started to run out of storage a lot. So we decided to I decided like that we need to make a storage room. So I tell my friend that, and I say that we're going to attach it to the map room. So you go through the map room, and then you get to the area where it is. And then I kind of just show my friend the netherite chest plate, and then I make the pickaxe, which is also really cool. After getting sidetracked for a bit, I decide to start making it in this video just for that. And I also give my axe to my friend, and I tell him to go get 2 stacks of logs, because that's a stack of chests, and we really just need that many chests, because we need a lot more storage if we're going to play on this world for a lot longer. And I also want to just make it look nice. But this is the only sneak peek you get in for the next I think the next Minecraft video. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope you have a good day. And I was also thinking that in my next video, or the video after my next one, I'm gonna play some better Minecraft on Java. Just a nice mod. If you guys want to see me do that, then like the video. And I mean, if you watched it to the end, like the video anyways. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.